Finally, after a lot of PowerPoint presentations, pictures, slides, and I hope also some nice food, now we get to the real thing, the machine behind my back, that we will present in detail along all the process, and then after the demonstration we will remove this barrier and it will be possible for you to get closer, see the machines once it will be in safe mode, and ask questions to all Bobst representatives that will be along the line. One last reminder from my side, please don't hate me, but again I would ask you to switch your mobile phones into airplane mode or to switch them off. I'm sure you did that. The reason is that all the cameras, microphones, videos, everything is wireless, so we fear that disturbance might transform our nice demonstration into a nightmare. So thanks for doing that. Thanks a lot. Now we can start and talk a little bit about the machine. What is this machine doing? So I have here some samples that were provided kindly by our customers. So this machine is doing mainly siliconized paper. This is 35 GSM, is exactly the same that we have on the machine. And this machine can manage from 30 to approximately 160 grams per square meter. We will run the demonstration with a 35 GSM paper. So basically this machine is manufacturing siliconized paper and film also. Tons of siliconized paper, really tons and tons. Just to give you an idea, when the machine is running at 800 meters per minute, and if you consider, for example, 2 shifts, 8 hours a day of non-stop production, at the end of the day, you would have done more than 700 kilometers of web. So you could start to unfold the reels here and go somewhere in between Rome and Naples in the south of Italy. And this is only in 1 day. So this machine is really eating tons of paper. For this reason, at the customer's house, there will be logistic equipment to automatically move the reels, because the amount of reels that you have to move around the machine is huge. They are not installed here clearly. And now, before going into the detail of the description, we will show you the machine and the process, starting from the unwinder, which is there, the flexo unit, which is behind my back, that is used for printing one color, logo, or a pattern, and we will bypass this unit because we are not printing during this demo. The coating unit, silicon coating unit, which is the far end of the machine, inside of the enclosure. Then I will go upstairs and I will describe you the dryer on top. As you learned yesterday and today, this is a thermal silicon machine, it's not UV, so we need to cure at temperature the silicon, approximately 2 seconds of curing time at the maximum speed. Then at the outlet of the machine, I will show you the cooling sections, the remoisturizer, and at the end, the rewinder. During my presentation and my description, you are free to stay here. I think it will be easier for you. There will be some close-up view on the LED wall. Otherwise, it will not be possible for you to see the things. But of course, you're free to walk along the line if you want. Before starting the description in detail of the line, I would just like to invite here our guys. Gentlemen, Andrea, please come here. We have here 6 technicians. They've been really working relentlessly in the past days and weeks to present this demo, so I think they deserve at least a presentation and a picture. And I have to say, it's also the first time that I see them with such a nice and clean shirt, because normally it's not the case. So we have Andrea, we have Mattia, Marco, another Marco, Rosario, and Massimo. In reality, today only Andrea will work to run the machine, so 1 operator is enough today. Normally, this kind of machine would require between 3 and 4 operators, depending if you print or if you're not printing. But we have 6 technicians together with us. First, for safety, the machine will run at high speed, so we would like to avoid someone having the idea of getting inside too close to the machine. Thanks, guys. You can go to your position, and we can start now the description of the machine in detail. After the demo, as I said, we will remove the barrier so you can come close and you can have further descriptions or questions or whatever. So we can start from the unwinder, where the process starts. We will find on the unwinder a reel which is ready to be changed. So during the demo, we will have a flying splice on the machine at full speed. This unwinder is a brand new 430 model, shaftless, so there is no expanding shaft inside of the reel, but we have pneumatic chucks on each side to lock the reel, and you will also see that this axe has two motors, one on operator side and one on drive side, and this was specifically done because this version is dedicated to high speed, high web tension, and high reel weight. So in order to properly manage the web tension at high speed, we need to have a double motor on each side of the axis. You see here the reel is ready for the flying splice, and the nice thing of this machine is that all the operator has to do is to prepare the tape for the splice and just position the reel. It doesn't matter if it's really horizontal or if it's placed a little bit underneath or above. The machine will detect the position and do the flying splice automatically. Safety is assured via visual barriers to avoid people entering into the operating zone of the unwinder, and a carpet underneath the unwinder structure. Another interesting feature of this model is that all automation is on board, and this is really a unique Bobst solution. And the great advantage of that is that you don't have any kind of collector, either electric or pneumatic collector, going through the structure from right to left, but everything is really on board. Another interesting thing is that all the deflection rollers from bottom to top, they are driven, so they will run at full speed when you're doing the splicing sequence in order to have a perfect web handling. Now we can move to the other side to see the splicing group. In the meantime, I can tell you that this machine is 1.7 meter web width. It can accept reels up to 1.5 meters of diameters and up to 4 tons of weight. This is for this specific machine, but the model, the 430 model, can also go up to 6 tons of reel weight. Here we can see the splicing group. In this case, it's from the bottom. But the nice thing is that you can change from bottom to top simply pushing a button on the control panel. So this machine, this model, does not require any operator's intervention to move the splicing group from bottom to top. So either you have reels that you unwind from the bottom or from the top, you can manage that automatically. Diameter of the reel is also automatically detected, so all the operator has to do really place the reel, place the tape, and then the rest of the sequence is done automatically. At the outlet of the unwinder, we have the draw group. In this case, is a vacuum roller. So in all the machines, the web handling is assured and managed by vacuum rollers. There are only 2 exceptions. One is the flexor unit, so we have a nip at the entrance of the flexor unit, and then one that we will see later on at the exit of the machine. So after the vacuum roller, we are unwinding our material. We have a web guide, and then we enter to the flexor unit that we can see closer now. This flexor unit is based on a 46 model made by our colleagues in Bobst Bielefeld. In this case, it's one color. And you can see that some interesting features here. We have both the Anilox roller and the printing cylinder, which are sleeve type, so with an easy unlocking mechanism for here and here, you can open and you can replace easily the sleeves from operator side without the need of any tools. Both cylinders are on linear guides for maximum rigidity, and this allows to print at high speed without bouncing. And you will see that we have independent drive motors on operator and drive side that are used to control precisely the position of the cylinders, and longitudinal and lateral register can be adjusted at steps of 100ths of millimeter. Last but not least, printing repeat. You can see an opening here. This is needed to extract the sleeves, and it can range from 500 millimeters to 1200 millimeters of repeat for the printing. We can move forward. I can close this unit now. And what's next is the dryer. So we have printed. What do we print here? Normally, on the liner, we can print a logo, something like that, so one color logo or a pattern or some writings, and we need to dry them. So we have 3 meters of flotation dryer here, which is more than enough since the amount of ink to dry is not that much. So 3 meters flotation dryer with an external ventilation module. You will see later on the module is placed at the beginning of the hall. We have here the HMI, human machine interface. We have placed it here only for the demo purposes because normally this monitor will be located into the office. We don't need this one on the machine. The machine will be operated via the touch panels that we have on the winders area, on the flexo unit, and on the coating unit. This is the Sphere HMI, the latest development we have, and the idea of this HMI is basically to work with two different environments. The first environment is the preparation of the machine. So here, the operator can set all the parameters of the line. It can be web tension, pressures of the cylinders rather than speed, and all the parameters that are needed to prepare the job, and an operative environment. So in the second environment, you see a sketch of the machine. So the machine is simplified here, and the operators can check all the parameters, all the process parameters while the machine is running. Then, two further pages are recipe. So clearly you can have all the job recipes loaded here, and notifications such as alarms, for example, and a further panel here which is for maintenance operations. Now, if we move, so we have dried, so now we have said we have unwinded the reel, we have aligned the web, we have printed one logo, we have dried it. Now what we have to do, we have here a 100% control system with double camera, which is used to check and to control the quality of the printing. And then we have, again, a web aligner and a web cleaner. The web cleaner is installed right before the entrance to the coating station. Here we have one additional vacuum roller, which is used to control the tension before the coating unit. I can go inside of the coating unit now. You see there is a full enclosure, and the reason is to keep a clean environment for the operator, since there are silicon mist and particles that we have inside, and we have an exhaust system that I'll show you later. So this is the reason why the unit is fully enclosed. Now, if we go inside, what we can see is a 5-roller silicon unit. So pretty much traditional as a concept, because 5-roller silicon is not new, but there are some interesting features that we developed specifically in this unit, where if we start, roller number 3, as usual, is the fixed roller, so it's the reference for the positioning of the other rollers. And the other rollers, like 1, 2, 4, and 5, they are all driven, they are all moved by hydraulic cylinders that we have here. So every roller has hydraulic on both sides, and we have micrometric adjustments, you can see here, to remotely set any gap of every cylinder. In addition, we have a visual high precision meter that is used to check the position of the roller and to adjust eventually from operator to drive side the position in order to have a good profile on the coating. Between roller number 1 and 2, we have the silicon tank. So here we have lateral side retainers for the silicon, and we have a sensor, which is here, to check the level of the silicon inside of the pan. Roller number 4, which is this one, you see it's a little bit different, the connection. Every roller is double-walled and is water-cooled, so you see connections for the water on every roller. This one is a little bit different because this one is a sleeve roller, so we need to keep the roller in cantilever from drive side to extract the sleeve without any tools. What we can see also for roller number 4 is that we have a cleaning system, which is here, which is pneumatically actuated, and is used to clean during operation silicon particles that might accumulate on the roller during production. Furthermore, we have here, I mentioned before, the exhaust system for the silicon mist, and on top, we cannot see it now, but it will be possible for you later on to see it from the top. We have an air blade to be sure that no silicon misting is getting out of this enclosure. This unit is a trolley type, so we have both versions. We can have a fixed type coating unit or a trolley type. In this case, we have a trolley. What does it mean? It means that we can extract these 3 cylinders, simply disconnecting the cardan shafts on the other side, the electric plugs. Once we have done that, you will have the green light to have pressure in this air gun. This air gun is used to lift up from here the trolley. Once it is lifted, you can come here with a special trolley that we can see later on, it's just nearby, that you can take and tow out the trolley. Due to its weight, we need this electric towing system. I think that's pretty much all, but again, you're welcome to ask any question later on. Now, we have coated, so the web is going straight up, and I will move up to show you what is happening afterwards along the process. Okay, so here we have the web that is coming straight up from the coating unit. So it's coated, we have the wet silicone on top of it, and we have to cure it. We have again a vacuum roller here, which is used to control the tension with a load cell at the outlet of the coating unit. And now we get into the dryer. Thermal silicone, so once again we need temperature to cure. This dryer can go up to 250 degrees of temperature, and we have 6 sections, 5 meters each. That is a total length of the dryer of 30 meters. This allows us approximately 2 seconds of curing time from the beginning to the end of the dryer. The dryer is a flotation dryer. What does it mean, flotation? I remind you what you saw on the presentation of Mirko yesterday. It's a contactless drying. That means that there are no rollers. The web is simply floating inside of the dryer between the nozzles, so we have air from the bottom and from the top, so the web creates a sinusoid, contactless from the beginning to the end. The dryer can be lifted up to 500 millimeters. In this case, we have limited because we have space restriction in this building for easy operation and maintenance. The nozzles are in stainless steels, and they have a quick lock mechanism. Simply, without tools, you unlock it, and you can remove the nozzles for, again, for cleaning or for any maintenance operation. We have gas burners on the top. Every section has its own independent temperature, which is provided by the gas burner itself, and then we have the fresh air supply and the exhaust stock on the other side. The dryer is equipped with the fans are equipped with a frequency control drive, so you can adjust the air speed both on top and on the bottom of the dryer. That's pretty much all about the dryer. Now we can close the dryer. Thanks, Mattia, for closing it. In the meantime, I move to the other side, and I will explain you what's happening at the end of the dryer. Okay, the dryer now is closed, so it's ready for operation. Later on, we will switch on the ventilation. At the outlet of the dryer, we have cured the silicone, and the paper is very hot. As I said, the air can reach up to 250 degrees, and thermal curing requires around 150 degrees on paper to cure the silicone. So at the outlet of this dryer, the paper is very hot and is also very dry. So what we have to do now, we have to bring the paper to the cooling sections and re-moisturize it to bring it to the proper moisture content before rewinding. The catwalk that you see here on operator side, we have it also on the drive side of the machine, and that is for maintenance operations, so it's really easy to access the dryer on both sides. We have another vacuum roller here, which is used to control the tension before the cooling section. So from here to the end of the machine, we just have a web passage on top of the roller, and I will go down to the cooling section now. Okay, now it's much better. I can assure you that if here is hot, upstairs is much better. So I'm glad that I came back to ground level. As I said, the web is coming down from the top. The paper is dry and is very hot, so we need to cool it down. We have here 3 rollers, 1 meter diameter, to cool down the paper. 1, 2, 3, they are in cascade. Also, the water is in cascade to optimize the thermal transfer from the water to the web. All the rollers are in double wall construction, and we have the water flows inside to cool down the web. Now, after these rollers, the web has now a temperature which is okay for remoisturizing, because the paper cannot be too hot, otherwise remoisturizing would not be effective. We have here the first remoisturizers, a double side. Now you see it open because we are not using the steam right now, so we don't have to remoisturize the paper during the web. During operation, it will be closed. You can see on the top we have 7 valves, which are remotely controlled, and we have 7 valves also on the other side, and these are used to remotely control the steam pressure and the steam flows that goes on the web. This is the first one. We have a second one later on. So after the first one, again, we have remoisturized and we have heated up the paper, so we need to cool down the paper again. So we can move further on. At the outlet, we go to a second cooling station where we find, again, 2 rollers of 1 meter diameter to cool down the paper after being remoisturized. Then we enter into the second remoisturizer, which is exactly the same as the first one. Again, double side, we have approximately 2.2 meters of moisturizers, 7 valves on one side and 7 valves on the other side for remote operation. And you see pneumatic cylinders which are used to open and close the moisturizer. On the drive side of the machine, we can see a little bit some valves on that side. There we have the steam preparation groups, which are placed, as I said, on the drive side, and the steam condensate return. Right now, the paper has reached the optimal value of moisture. So before rewinding, we still need to cool it down. So we have the last sections of cooling rollers, 2 rollers, 1 meter diameter, and again in cascade with the water flows. And this allows us to bring the paper down to a correct temperature to be rewinded. After these cooling rollers, we have a web guide, and we have here a provisional space for a surface quality system that in this case is not installed. Finally, we have almost reached the end of the process, so we go to the rewinder. At the inlet of the rewinder, we have trimming sections on both sides that are used to trim the side of the web to have the perfect web width needed for the rewinding. And we can have a look to the rewinder now. The rewinder is the same series of the unwinder, so it is a 430 model, shaftless. So also in this case, we don't have a shaft through the reel. The last vacuum roller is here on the top to adjust the tension at the inlet of the rewinder and to isolate the rewinding tension from the process tension of the machine. This rewinder can wind up the reel up to 200 kilograms of web tension, depending on the paper thickness and the web width. You can see the splicing group, top and bottom in this case is double, so we have 2 at the same time. So you can also in this case choose whether you want to rewind from the top or from the bottom. Also in this case a double motor from drive side and operator side, and all the deflection rollers which are launched to process speed before the splicing. The last detail, someone asked me the question before, we have a threading system. What is a threading system? The machine is very long. We have a lot of meters of material inside of the machine. So to thread the web inside, we have a system, we have a rope that you will notice move all around the machine, which is tensioned by that pneumatic cylinders. And with this rope, we attach one side of the web, and thanks to 2 motors which are located in 2 different positions, we can thread the paper, the new or the film or whatever the material you need to thread into the machine along the whole machine. The paper is also on the side of the dryer, so a complete web threading, fully automated along the line. The process is now complete. We have rewinded our material, so right now we are finished. We are finished with the explanation. We can start the demo. So how the demo will run, we will accelerate the machine, we will reach a speed of 1,000 meters, We will do a flying splice. We have synchronized the flying splice on the rewinder also, so it will be possible to see the splicing tail afterwards. Andrea, thanks. You can start the demo. You have a meter counter on the screen, so you can check the machine speed. You see the reel is starting to move right now. We have a camera inside, so we can have a close-up view of the splicing sequence. The machine is now stopping for some seconds at 30 meters per minute. This is minimum speed, and we need to stay stable at this speed just to activate the splicing sequence on the rewinder. So once that is done, Andrea will give the signal to accelerate the machine to full speed. Okay. You hear the noise going up. Machine is getting speed rapidly up to 1,000 meters per minute. You have a view inside of the dryer. You see how the web is floating contactless between the nozzles, and I invite you to see the stability of the paper, which is running really fast now. We're getting close to our target. Here we are, 1,000. So we will keep now this speed for a few seconds, not too much, because the reel goes down rather quickly. You can imagine that at this speed, the web in just 4 or 5 seconds is on the other side of the machine to the reel. So a few more seconds, and then when we are ready, Andrea, you can start the splicing sequence. So what we will do now, Andrea will just push a button and the splicing sequence will start. First, on the unwinder, you see that the unwinder turret is moving. So we bring the new reel to the splicing position, and the diameter and the position are automatically detected. So the turret is rotating until the correct position is reached. I invite you also to notice which is the noise level of the machine. If you think we are running at 1,000 meters per minute and we have the full power on the dryers, but yeah, very good. You see that also the rewinder is starting to move, and this is because we have synchronized the reel. Now the unwinder is starting to accelerate to full speed before we activate the splice, and in the meantime the rewinder is also moving to the position. So we will make a splice, we will wait a calculated time for the cue to be at the rewinder, and we will splice on the rewinder. You can see on the screen the splice if you want. We'll keep the camera on for that. Just a few seconds more for the rewinder to be in position. Yes, we are ready now. Go, Andrea, start the splice. It's done. And now we do on the rewinder also, as soon as the tail is coming there. It's done also there. Well done. Great, Andrea, thanks. So what will we do right now? We will slow down the machine. We don't need to unwind completely the reel. So we'll just slow down the machine to minimum speed. We will stop it. Now we're getting close to the end of our demonstration. And then we will open the machine for you to come closer and see it. Now, before doing that, I just would like to invite Mr. Olivier Lavaux. Where is he? I can't see him. Olivier, yes, please come here. So, I think Mr. Lavaux in Itasa deserves two special thanks. First one is for having purchased the machine, so we are really thankful to Itasa management, Mr. Lavaux himself, and for the trust they have in Bobst and for this project, because everybody knows that no customer, no project, no machine, no open house, so this is the sequence. So thanks a lot. And second, a special thanks from everybody from Bobst for having allowed us to show the machine to everybody, to run an open house. Thanks so much, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. You can stay here with me right now. I just would like to call our guys before the end of the demo to thank all of them. Come, Rosario, Mattia, you can come down. The machine is almost, not almost, it is stopped. Where is Andrea and Marco? You can come here. Just to show up a little bit in the end. You also deserve a round of applause because you did a good job. Thanks, guys. The demo was very nice. Thank you so much. Thanks to all of you for being here. Thanks for your participation and your interest in Bobst. We really appreciate you being here. It's so nice to see so many nice people and interested in what we are doing as Bobst. Okay, the demo is finished. It's 4:15. What we will do now, I will give approximately half an hour. We open, you can have a drink, you can come closer, you can ask to any one of us questions about the machines, whatever question on the different sections. You can go up and see the dryer. Just pay attention. The machine will be in safety mode, but just pay attention to the ladders and to where you put your hands. And then in approximately half an hour, let's say 4:45, I will be on the other machine, which is just behind here, which is the coating machine, which will be shown in static mode, and I will just explain you and show the machine. Thanks.